this is what happened. So Troy wanted to talk about Eric Ebron, talking about, and I get it, because like I said, Marlo playing 3 games in 12 days, that's a lot. That's a lot. I understand the COVID concerns, but it's a lot to ask somebody to be physically hitting somebody 3 games in 12 days. That's a lot. So I'm minding my John Brown business, because when Troy go ham, you know, on the Las Vegas Raiders, I let Troy have it. But I don't just go ham on the Las Vegas Raiders, because that ain't my squad. That ain't my squad. Troy just gonna go ham on the Pittsburgh. Like, oh, I got them. I talk bad about them. I don't need no help. Marlo don't need no help talking about the Buccaneers. Troy don't need no help talking about the Raiders. I don't need no help talking about the Steelers. I can bash them all day long. I got that.
Again.
I appreciate it, but I got it. I see what you're doing. I see what you're putting down, but I got it.
Oh yeah, Marlo. We also talked about how Barbara just went in on me because I talked about her Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's funny.
It was not funny. That was personal. It got personal.
That was funny.
It got personal.
Listen, I ain't know it, and I felt the energy. I was like, God. Hey, Marlo, I was like, I'm still a fan, and she took this to heart way more than I did.
I was just
That's
like,
not funny. And that was dry. You need to work on your material. I said, look, I started to comment, Marlon, like, clearly, I don't need to say nothing.
But what was funny was Marlo had the little emoji. Yeah, and after Marlo emoji, she went in. I'm like,
listen, I'm like,
it's funny.
Marlo, I'm
the
like,
week before, we good over here. We 11-0.
Yeah. You can see her saying it with her chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, the way I visited Marlo, I envisioned it where she was rolling up on Troy like this. We let me know now what? All up in his face.
Hilarious.
Just understand. Barb was very serious that year about her Pittsburgh Steelers. She was very, very serious. Real quick, in the NFL Combine, James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee ran a 4.50 40.
First round.
Defensive lineman.
First round.
He sounded like
all, shit. He ain't gonna be around that long.
Mm-hmm. He'll be off the board pretty quick.
Pretty fast.
As quick as he ran that 40.
That's be the best time. He just ain't got his size.
But I will. You said a 4.5 40, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He won't be on the board long. I tell you what, though, he's still not the best pass rusher in the draft. He's pretty good. But I think if you was to ask me, Abdul Carter is the best pass rusher coming out.
Yeah, they got Pierce going between 15th and 11th in the first round. So, with
that time, that's got to be great.
I'm sure that was. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't today. I'm 100% sure that mock draft was not done today.
He made him some money today. That's all they did.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh my God. Marlo, I think you got background.
Oh, sorry.
There's a guy coming out of the University of Michigan, Josiah Stewart.
Okay.
He potentially could translate the best to the league. But I don't know if he should go. Like he's not a true 4-3 outside line DN. He would probably do better in a 3-4 type of defense. But his pass rushing bag is pretty deep.
So as of right now, and this is just the 40 times that have happened so far. Thanks, NFL Network, for trying to shoot me ads. Kane Medrano, I want to make sure I say that right. Medrano. Kane Medrano ran a linebacker out of UCLA, ran a 4.46. Oh, wait a minute. No, he gonna probably be James Pierce is probably gonna be a top 5 pick. Probably gonna be a top 5 pick. James ran a 4.47.
That's quick.
Ran a 4.47. Eugene Asante ran a 4.48. That's a linebacker out of Auburn. Jahad Campbell ran a 4.52. Not really seeing anything that like would jump off the board. There's some edges that ran 4.6. Oh, Texas A&M Shamor Stewart ran a 4.59.
Shamor Stewart?
Yep. Ran a 4.59. Ooh, wait a minute. Let's go back. Go back. SMU defensive tackle. Jared Harrison Hunt ran a 4.86.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yes. And it's a few of them.
But ain't nothing gonna beat
4.6.
But ain't nothing gonna beat Jordan Davis running at 4.6 at 360 pounds.
I like it.
No, everybody else is just edges. Joshua Farmer out of Florida State ran a 5.11. If he would have ran a 4.5. Those are the notables right now. Did they do the benches today? They did not do the bench press today. What about verticals? I know they did verticals today. Oh, yeah, that was the Landon Jackson kid out of Arkansas. Leaped a 40.50.
What's the position?
Edge. It's when. Wait, whoa, I'm sorry. There are two 40-inch verticals here and a 39. Shamar Stewart had a 40-inch vertical. Teddy Buchanan had a 40-inch vertical, and he's out of California. And Carson Schwessinger out of UCLA had 39.50. I feel like UCLA take advantage of their off time and get ready for the combine. I'm seeing a lot of them UCLA kids.
But you know the number, you can improve. You can either improve on your numbers or you can bomb on them when you have your pro day.
Anybody that did well in the combine, there's no reason to do them drills during the pro day at all. Better talk to your people. Better talk to your agents.
I agree with you on that.
I mean, it's some dudes that was at Florida State that thought, oh, I can do better. That 40 time was not a 4.4. So just know better. Nothing too crazy that I'm seeing. 3 cones that they do that. I cannot say this kid's name out of Boston College, but Donovan E had a 6.94 3-cone drill. Baron Sorrell had a 7.06. He's out of Texas. And Brandon Swinson out of LSU had a 7.13. Again, nothing like crazy, nothing like off the top. That 20-yard shuttle again, the edge rusher from Boston College, Donovan E. Brandon Swinson out of LSU had a 4.33. Oh, that's a big difference. That's a big old difference. But those are just, some combine notes. Before we get started good, we got to talk about North Carolina A&T. We got to talk about North Carolina A&T. There's some celebrations that need to happen, but we also got to have some conversations. First off, they
Basketball.
Track. They won their first conference title in track. Shout out to Hampton's women, who also won the conference title in indoor track. So shout out to those 2 squads for doing something in the CAA that a lot of us wasn't sure they can do. That being said, Doc, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been about a week and a half since the MEAC bowling championship in North Carolina A&T won, right?
As far as what?
North Carolina A&T won the MEAC bowling championship.
Yeah.
And they've posted nothing about it from the conference. North Carolina A&T posted it. North Carolina A&T alumni and fans have posted it, but nothing from A&T. I mean, nothing from the MEAC. I feel like, and I got this thing about right is right and wrong is wrong and speaking truth to power and all that stuff. I feel like there is some merit to that, right? But we going on days. They announced the bowling players of the week 7, so it's about 8-9 days ago, right? That was announced. And if there are any delays because of staffing or whatever, somebody could have put something out. Nothing has been put out. And it's kind of, it don't look good. And we don't have a dog in the fight. We're not credentialed with the MEAC, so we don't have a dog in the fight. But again, right is right, wrong is wrong. And at what point are we going to say, hey, MEAC, what's going on? Is it because North Carolina A&T not fully in the MEAC? Like, what's going on? Is it some beef we don't know about? Like, what's going on? We got to look. Other people are watching. Other kids are watching. And this is how you treat your own. You start having conversations about kids going other places. But I don't know.
You know what we need to do, Troy? We need to have Commissioner Steele on there.
I invite anybody on. I definitely do it. I reach out. Speaking of reaching out, I have reached out to Bethune-Cookman to get Coach Theus, AD Theus, onto the show. There has been noticeable radio silence.
Good.
Hey, Marlo.
Yes, sir.
Is Bethune-Cookman a short knocker?
Ever since they're of existence, they just can't help themselves.
Well, Whew. Man. Well, I'm gonna move along. Can we talk about the Browns trying to keep Garrett?
Why?
Because he has said that he is not open to an extension. I think his contract run through 27.
Miles trying to go somewhere where he can win, man. That dude ain't. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since he was a freshman in high school, all he did was win.
So,
and when he was in high school, he already had a man's body, a grown man body.
He's smart. Y'all
Very
forget
smart.
what everybody kept talking about. We don't think he takes football seriously because he's thinking about becoming a rocket scientist. We need more rocket scientists playing football. Everybody ain't got to be a crash test dummy. The ones who all play for the Bucks. That was a joke. It was a joke. Everybody relax. It was just a joke.
Tread lightly, young Padawan. Tread lightly.
But Miles has said that he wants to go win. And the GM has said that they're going to keep him. And they can keep him for 2 years. Because he got 2 years left on his contract. Does he have enough left in the tank to go somewhere and be an impact like a Von Miller did?
You are talking about Miles Garrett, right?
2 years is a long time.
How old? Wait. How old do you think Miles Garrett is?
Miles Garrett is 29 years old.
He is in his prime.
31.
He's in the middle. In fact, he's in the middle of his prime.
He is in the middle. He has at least 3 more years of being extremely dominant on the football field. Minimum 3 years.
It probably is more like 5 because I don't know if you notice he don't get hurt. He takes extreme care of himself.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I just, again, them stalling him out, kind of, I get what they're saying.
The Browns had made a good personnel decision in a long time. They gave Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract when he was being investigated for being a freak.
Are you right?
I'm just saying, fully guaranteed when he had 20-something women file a lawsuit against him.
Talk about massage parlor Watson.
Mr. Nasty Man. Shit.
So in the players survey that they did about how well franchises are doing, the Cleveland Browns got a D+. Somehow or another, the Dallas Cowboys got an A.
Because
talking about my Cowboys. What's up?
Because of Jerry.
You already know how I feel. You already know how I feel about that. Put that digger in the ground. Put him in the ground. Put him out of his misery. Troy, gonna get the picture, beating the dead horse. Put him out his misery. Take him out back and take him to the back and take him out.
Man,
put them down like they did Old Yellow.
Not Old Yellow. Well, some interesting notes on these player surveys right. San Francisco got a B plus. The Bucks got a C minus. Kind of middle of the road, like their team.
What did the Texans get?
Looking at this on my phone is crazy. Is that? They got a B minus. They got a B minus.
Probably because of the move from Bobby Slowick. A lot of people around the Texans organization, even the fans, thought that Bobby Slowick was slowing C.J. Stroud's progression. As a matter of fact, we saw a regression in his last season, but I think some of that has to do with the fact that all our receivers kept getting hurt. You know, we had people that were practice teamers starting.
No, that's fine. So I don't. Jacksonville Jaguars, man. They got an F.
They got an F.
They got an
They
F.
should have got, they should have got an F minus.
They got an F minus on overall football, but in off-season moves, getting a new GM, a GM that actually understands football.
I think that was a step in the right direction.
Right, and getting a coach, a good head coach, I'll give him a B minus.
Yep.
A lot of the treatment of families dictated a lot on that report card, but we'll speaking of the Buccaneers, Marlo, the Bucks are going to reinstate John Gruden into the Ring of Honor.
He's had long enough of a layoff.
He shouldn't have been in there in the first place. How you gonna be in the Ring of Honor when you won with somebody else's team?
He sure shouldn't have been, but yeah, no.
And then you had all the tricks of the trade because you coached the team that you was traded from, and you know everything that they did. Nah, I'm gonna be honest. Tampa Bay did Dungy dirty.
They did who dirty?
If there's anything, Dungy needs to be in the Ring of Honor instead of Gruden.
So I gotta ask the question, right?
I wouldn't say instead of, but I would say he should be in addition. Just because Gruden did win the Super Bowl. You know, I get that it was Dungy team originally, but at the end of the day, he still is a Super Bowl winning coach for that organization.
But hear me out, TP. Hear me out. I would put Dungy in that Ring of Honor because of the simple fact that it took Dungy at least six years to get that team to actually win, where they were just horrible for like the last 20 years before he got there.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said he should be an addition, not instead of. I think they both should be in there because you can't have one without the other. You won't have you wouldn't have that team built the way that they were built without Tony Dungy. And if let's say they hired somebody else, who's to say that person would have still won a Super Bowl with that team? But you still got to go coach the games. You still got to play the games. You still got to be able to put people in the right positions. And I get it that they did it with the back on the defense, but they still had to score some points. And if I'm not mistaken, they kept the defensive coordinator and got a new offensive coordinator going into that season.
But after that, after that Super Bowl, how many more playoffs did they go to with Gruden? Zero. Huh?
No.
0. He was he was not a win to me. Gruden is not a winning Super Bowl. He's not a Super Bowl winning coach.
He won a Super Bowl as the head coach. What do you mean?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is,
I feel like the Buccaneers, there was a team that had aged throughout their process with Tony Dungy, and John Gruden came in at the end and won the Super Bowl. But you got to think about how old the players were and their inability to replace the aging talent that they had on the field, and the defense coordinator left.
I would like everybody to hear me out. You know what? This is a perfect time. Absolutely perfect time. I want people to hear me out because y'all are not gonna believe this. What if I was to tell you there's another coach that should get credit for the architecture of that Buccaneers Gulf Coast off defense? And we forget about him. And he went to the Super Bowl. Sam Weiss. Sam Weiss. He drafted Derek Brooks and he drafted Warren Sapp. On top of that, he got Hardy Nickerson to come over from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
switch positions. Also, did he draft? He drafted Simeon Rice.
Simeon came from Arizona.
Okay, well he put in the trade for Simeon Rice to get there. Did he draft Rondé Barber?
I'm looking now.
Simeon Rice came after the Super Bowl.
No, Simeon Rice came during the Super Bowl win.
He was there that year?
Yeah, Simeon Rice was on that team.
Simeon Rice was on the Super Bowl team. Barber. Hold on, I think John Lynch got that first. And I apologize, people. I'm getting older. I can't remember. Yeah, so he drafted John Lynch, Warren Sapp, and Derek Brooks. John Lynch got there in 1993. And again, that was, Marlo will remember this name, Floyd Peters defense. But Floyd Peters played the forebearer to the cover 2 defense. So, and there was another, I want to say Abraham was the cornerback that was there. Sam White drafted
Donnie
him
Abraham.
Yeah, drafted him, and they called him Toast at one point because Floyd would like to play his guys outside man to man, and yeah, Abraham would get toasted. And when they drafted Rondé with the new regime, that kind of took care of that problem. But yeah, Sam Weiss, Tony Dungy, and John Gruden, I think, belong in that ring of honor.
And then you think about this: Sam White and Tony Dungy got Ward Dunn, drafted him, drafted Mike Allstott. Let's remember that. Got Keenan McCarter in free agency. Got a you thought he was a rusty, but he was a serviceable quarterback in Brad Johnson.
Don't do that. At the time, he was the only quarterback in the NFL that threw and caught his own pass. Don't do that Seminole like that. Don't do that. He did just as much as that GOAT y'all call. He got a Super Bowl. But if I'm being fair, Keenan McCardell and Simeon Rice, those two additions were huge.
Brad Johnson wasn't even the MVP of the Super Bowl as a quarterback.
Sure wasn't.
Dexter Jackson
was
the MVP with 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
And then when he left, you see how he was, because he was not the same. He was not the same type of player when you're not playing in that type of defense right there.
Correct.
So we just gonna pick and choose the slander Florida State Seminoles.
Oh no, we ain't picking the choose slander Florida State Seminoles. I'm just calling it like it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could be real with you. When the Cowboys won their second Super Bowl, who's the MVP of the Super Bowl? Larry Brown had 2 picks. He go to the Raiders
and do nothing.
And he was not the same type of player when he left the defense for the Cowboys.
But I don't think that that's a knock on Brad Johnson, because if we saying that, then Peyton Manning winning the Super Bowl on the Broncos, we know that he was at the tail end of his career battling neck injuries and things like that. But he still was the missing piece that they needed to get to the Super Bowl. They don't get to the Super Bowl without Peyton Manning. But Von Miller changed that entire game. He wrecked Carolina's game plan. I mean, they couldn't do nothing because number 40 was everywhere. So I don't think that Dexter Jackson winning the MVP is a knock on Brad Johnson. But at the same time, Brad Johnson hadn't had a Hall of Fame type career.
No, not at all. He's just better than Brad just better than every other Gator that ever came through an NFL office.
But if we look at the rest of the quarterbacks in the league, who else would have gotten them to the Super Bowl? Because you still got to convert third downs. You still have to do something on offense. Like every team that has won a Super Bowl that was defensive based, it had a quarterback that could at least manage the game and make plays when they need him. I'll take J.J. McCarthy in college a couple years back. Michigan needed him in certain situations to convert those third downs to keep drives alive. Even though we know it was the defense that ultimately won that championship. It was the defense in the running game. But you have to have a game manager. Like if you're not an elite quarterback, but you're on a team that has a dominant defense, a dominant run game, if you can't manage the game, they're still not going to win. I don't care what anybody says. Hell, even Trent Dilfer made enough plays to keep the Ravens' drives going to make sure they won the Super Bowl. He actually had a very good Super Bowl. I'll never forget that seam route to Brandon Stokely to pretty much ice the game.
Yeah. But it wasn't. But remember that it didn't say the headlines didn't read well. Different leads into a Super Bowl. The headlines read Ray Lewis and Baltimore's defense dominate in Super Bowl win against the New York Giants.
I know what the headline said, but us as football people understand the fact that if they don't have an actual game manager at quarterback, they don't get that far.
That is true.
That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, no, that those was just some wonderful years, absolute wonderful years. I guess we'll bring up, you know what? I feel like I kept telling y'all this was coming, right? I kept telling y'all this was coming. And the people who want the lambast and disrespect Florida State, you know what? It's about time for the disrespect segment.
The disrespect segment.
Listen, the Florida Supreme Court threw out the ACC stay on the lawsuit. Florida State lawsuit and Florida State courts will continue to move forward. I told y'all. I had fun telling y'all, and y'all ain't believe me. No, the ACC is going to prevail in Florida court. Are you stupid? Is your mama stupid? Are you smoking the tobacco on the tobacco road? Is that what's happening? Under no circumstances is Florida State going to lose in Florida court. Not as long as that Puss in White Boots is in office. So, now that we know that, we can quit spending all this money on attorneys because that's on the people winning. This is going to end with Florida State giving y'all the media rights money y'all already holding so we can go about our way. You ain't getting, should we go to another conference that gets 50 million, 60 million, you ain't getting that.
And you shouldn't.
You're going to get the money that we giving you right now. We got Captain. We gonna get to that. We definitely gonna get to that. We definitely. Wow. Oh, Justin Herbert choke. We definitely gonna get to. You know what? I just because you gotta respect Raiders fans. I'm gonna go ahead and put his comment up there while I'm talking.
Wait, put the question back. I read.
Oh, my bad. So we know for a fact.
Listen, choke Herbert. He said, I'm gonna read the question. Just for the ones that won't have a visual.
Right.
Hey, huge fan of the show. Already a sub Raiders fan here. I was wondering, with all the Stafford news that's been going on, is he top 6? I mean, is he better than Justin Choke Herbert? That is a loaded question that has a lot of levels to it. Because we can go back to Matthew Stafford's time in Detroit where he choked many times with one of the greatest receivers of all time.
I feel like too, if you got Matthew Stafford kind of wasted a lot of years, just like we said in Detroit, like we said with Megatron wasting years in Detroit, Barry Sanders wasting his prime years in Detroit. I would say the same thing about Matthew Stafford.
Mm-hmm. But he goes to the Rams and they win a Super Bowl off the back of the defense. This brings us right back to the conversation we were just having, because Matthew Stafford can be a very good game manager if he's put in a situation where he has a team around him. In Detroit, they never had a defense, but he goes to LA and they have one of the greatest defensive players of all time, not just greatest defensive tackle / right end, but one of the greatest defensive players of all time. And when you watch that Super Bowl, you understand that Aaron Donald was the determining factor that ultimately pushed the Rams to the win. Is he top 6? I can't say. I can't put him in the top 6. But is he better than Justin Herbert? Statistically, he has been. But the amount of tools that Justin Herbert has right now, being in the prime of his career, I can't say that Matthew Stafford is better because he's already hit his ceiling. Justin Herbert has to get over the hump. There have been a lot of players that had a lot of talent, and it just took them some time to get over the hump. Because if you look at Matthew Stafford again, he didn't win a Super Bowl until his 12th year in the league. So up until that point, yeah, his numbers may have been good, but he choked every year. If we're really being honest. So I can't put him as top 6 over Justin Herbert based on the simple fact that Justin Herbert's ceiling is still up here.
So I want all Raider fans to take a step back and understand as deal with the Justin Herbert. I'm sorry, as we deal with a Matthew Stafford coming to the Raiders, if that's even a possibility. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm going to explain why. We have a lot of issues that we have to address. And Penalty Talk online was like, well, you got $129 million in cap room, yada, yada, yada. Okay, we got to get receivers that can separate. We got an offensive line, specifically our center, who cost us a game. We got to get our center situation straightened out. We definitely got to get our tackle situation straightened out. We have glaring holes on defense that need to be addressed. Defensive tackle and linebacker for them. I'm okay with our defensive backs because when given a pass rush, they are very adequate or even above average at shutting down passes. So I'm okay there. But the problem that I have is we had a running back in his prime and we let him go. We don't have an offensive line. And the running backs that we drafted, well, really one that we drafted that was supposed to be the next in line, has not produced. And that could be a offensive line factor. We don't know. We just know that position hasn't produced. We traded away a number one receiver and got nothing in return, basically. So we have so many other holes to fill. Even with our cap room, we're not going to spend $129 million and be in the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen. That doesn't happen in the NFL. This is a 2-year process. Draft your quarterback, get you a serviceable veteran, which I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looked like at this point because I don't know
Joe Flacco. Shit. Joe.
This you doing this for the views. You just want to see me crash out every week. I know what this is.
Joe Flacco has been the best backup quarterback in the league for the past 3 years.
Joe Flacco is amazing 8 games into the season. It is game 9.
He has been a great backup. Which you said they need a veteran quarter. Let me tell you something. Bringing in Gardner Minshew was the worst thing the Raiders ever did. Yes, he's a veteran, but also he is a journeyman who has not been good anywhere. And Joe Flacco has actually won a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to prepare. He knows what to do in game situations. He can actually teach somebody. Gardner Minshew could not. We need a veteran that can actually help develop. Because if you're going to go get somebody young at quarterback, if anything, y'all need to be on the phone with the Patriots. Can we get Joe? Especially with that horrible offensive line. Because you got to be able to move around. If you can't block something, you can't block the people coming, at least have somebody that can elude them.
No lies detected.
My apologies.
I mean, talk to me.
I'm under no circumstances do I disagree with that. Again, I want us to have a professional that is going to get us 8-9 wins. Like, give me a shot at the playoffs. I'm not expecting somebody to immediately be in the playoffs. You know what? I'll say it. Sign Justin Fields. Until we fix that offensive line, sign Justin Fields. And I am the number one hater of run around and make a play quarterbacks. I hate when offensive coordinators make that the mandate because it does not develop the quarterback. But as a fan, I want to see us win. We gotta, you know what? We gotta consider Justin Fields. The other thing, since we're talking about quarterbacks, Cam or Shedeur? And I'm sure there will be.
I've been saying it for months.
Give
me the Ibis.
Here in my assessment, because I've been looking at film, I hate acting like I know ball. Absolutely hate. I like to have a fan platform. Unfortunately, I got to take a look as a Raiders fan at these two quarterbacks so I can seriously get a feeling. I'm not going to be out here trying to be, one of these draft gurus. I'm not trying to do that. I just want to get a feeling of what type of quarterback I like and what's available, right? I've said Dylan Gabriel because with everything around him, if he has everything he needs for success, he throws the ball on time. That's why I say Dylan Gabriel. I do not know if Shedeur is going to throw the ball on time based on where he's been and their lack of offensive line development. They look good in some games. They look absolutely good in some games. And then there are games where he holds the ball, turns his back to the line of scrimmage, runs around, and then throws the ball. That will drive me further gray. So I looked at the Ibis, right? And he does hold the ball too long, and he does extend plays. However,
let's put it like this though, Troy. Both of them had the same type of journey because both of them started at FCS.
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna absolutely get to that. Yep, I'm gonna get to that. 100%. The only reason that I put the Ibis this much ahead of Shedeur, is that when the Ibis decides to run, he puts his head down and he gets forward yardage. That's the difference for me. It ain't none of that dancing around behind the line of scrimmage, turning it. I don't know how a coach can survive in this day and age with their quarterbacks turning their back to the line of scrimmage. Quarterbacks were not meant to be Barry Sanders. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. But Doc, go ahead. I know you want to talk about the FCS because it's a lot of history behind Shedeur and Cam, even though he chose to go be an Ibis. But we know why that was, don't we, Cornrow? But go ahead and talk about his journey.
So when Cam was starting at Incarnate Word, he already had a red shirt year. So he spent the first 2 years tearing up FCS and the Southland Conference. And then he went, him going to Power 5 and Washington State when they were still in the Pac-12. He played 2 years up there. And then for his final year, he goes to Miami, where he was pretty much he was pretty much quote unquote the best quarterback that was in college football this season. And then of course with Shedeur, spent the 2 years at Jackson, and then spending his last 2 years at Colorado. The difference between Cam and Shedeur is basically Shedeur has played with his dad majority of his life. Now is going to be the time to where can he is he coachable without having his father being around as an OC or a head coach? That is the main question everybody's going to ask. How is he going to translate going to the NFL without having nobody else but his father being his OC or his head coach? Cam has had the situation where he done played for 3 different coaches. Played for 3 different coaches, and And each place he has won. Now that's the thing about between Cam and Shedeur. Cam has won everywhere that he went. Shedeur, trust me, he's won everywhere, but that first season in Colorado where they went 4-8. So
Well, again, this is going to be an interesting draft. Absolutely going to be an interesting draft. Just popped up on the timeline. Fan of the platform, friend of the platform, Liv. I want to say, I don't want to mess up her last name. Is it Antilles? I want to make sure I don't mess it up. Liv for Hoops has been inducted into the JUCO Hall of Fame. Shout out to her. She's been doing her thing. Absolutely. So we will try and get up with her next week and kind of get a recap of the CIAA tournament. But absolutely has done her thing. Oh my God. All right. So I'm trying to figure out how to say this, right? Because Marlo ran home and threw on his Bucks jersey, right? And there has been a noticeable radio silence on Chris Godwin's contract.
Mm-hmm.
I am of the mindset it does not matter him signing the contract or not. He has not been there for key parts of seasons. What we going on season 3? He is like the Bucks version of Julio Jones. Like, did he get that Julio Jones bug when Julio was there? Is that? And I'm not.
Yeah, he had got hurt the season before Julio got there.
So, in the Bay Area, there's a lot of trepidation over Chris Godwin's contract, and I'm asking why. Mike Evans been doing it by himself the last 3 seasons. Why not just draft you a wide receiver?
We got other needs. We need to get a number 1 DB.
Is this a safe place? Is this a safe place? I need to know.
We listen and we don't judge.
Okay. Let's get into it. Y'all always needed a defensive back. Y'all had a Hall of Famer playing, and you still needed a defensive back. I don't think that hurts the Bucks. You have drafted safeties. You've drafted safeties.
We absolutely need a DB, bro. If you look at our D-line play, our D-line is the backbone of that defense. You cannot run against Tampa. Not with that big Samoan in the middle. It's impossible.
That's another thing. Like
you shut that down.
Drink some milk too.
Shit. Vita play.
I'm not saying he's had some injuries too. But
you
what I'm saying is you can go in free agency because DBs in free agency aren't that expensive right now. You can go in free agency and get you a DB.
That's a lie.
DBs are expensive. Especially vets, they cutting costs. That salary cap killing folks with these quarterbacks taking all the air out the room. Tell you.
So you gonna say it, TP, or should I say it? Y'all, you can't complain about the QB taking money out the room when y'all played $100 million from a dude who can't run from the Texas Rangers. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, it was a steal. $30 million for a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's a steal. And you lock him in for 3 years, so you ain't even got to worry about that position.
I'm not sold on Baker. Baker played well last year. Baker probably played his up to his ceiling last year, without a doubt.
And that was without key weapons during the middle part of the season. Mike Evans missed 4 or 5 weeks. Chris Godwin got injured for the season. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm not trying to get you riled up. I'm just asking some questions to get some understanding and clarity. Don't worry, I got other stuff to get you riled about later on. We're gonna take a quick 2-minute break and we'll be right back. We're gonna run this little promo. We'll be right back. As this was unfolding onto the internet, because I thought this was some kind of hoax. As it was unfolding, it turned out to be real. A gentleman, we're gonna call him Matt, responded to a Steve Smith post of him golfing by saying, "Does your wife and kids know you're sleeping with my wife?" He then proceeds to post screenshots of text messages between him and who we assume is his wife. These text messages are quite graphic and quite embarrassing if you are said spouse. Because again, in the era of Twitter, there is no shame. Some key issues that Marlo might want to discuss is the quote,
I'll get it.
"You was so deep, you moved my IUD."
That sounds about right.
So
obviously, she's used to dealing with a short knocker, and he was not. he didn't have the proper equipment. First of all, this is my whole problem with the whole thing. Why, as a man,
Run away.
as a man, why would you call another man and record it just to put it on the internet that you recorded talking to him? That he had done dug a pothole in your wife. Sorry, not sorry.
That's gold right there.
I still have no words.
That's
last time
pure
I
gold
checked,
right there.
I was the man on these streets.
Last time I checked on TikTok, I'll check again right now. Right. Last time I checked on TikTok, it has 5,400 views.
Yeah, man. I don't understand grown men doing little boy stuff.
You said it got how many views?
5,400.
Oh, you gonna go viral, Marlo?
So, oh man,
the most ratchet things are the things that go viral.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, a lot of times I get on here and I talk about how sports and politics intersect. Alexa, shut off. Again, a lot of times sports and politics intersect in some of the most unusual ways. The mayor of New York, he has decided that it was okay to use Negro in mixed company. And there are people who use Negro, And then there are people who use Negro in the place of the other word to not say the other word.
Are you talking about coded?
Exactly. Coded language, right? This gentleman has been using Negro in place of, and sometimes in life just gives you stuff, right? And I loves when life gives me stuff. If it'll let me share it. Yep, it will. This was enjoyable.
Had at the Gracie Mansion last night, where you spoke about Black History Month, and in it,
lighting your flame and continue to light and shine. And that's what we've done in this administration without to allow my flame to prematurely be extinguished. That's what I'm talking about.
So you're saying all New Yorkers are Negro?
That clip had a lot of breaking up.
Word Negro.
That
The last couple of weeks. And I think some people actually have an issue with that term. So explain who you're talking to when you use that term specifically.
I didn't say anything for God. I said, pray. Wasn't that what I said?
You said, quote, God forgive them.
Exactly. And so let's focus on this for a moment. Isn't our democracy is based on who the people of the city who elected me to be the mayor? And then ask the question, what have I done that we're going to usurp that power from the people? I have not, because convicted of a crime. I've moved the city forward. I've done the job that New York has asked me to do. And so when you have those that are trying to usurp that democracy, and God forgive them.
Okay, when you take a look at it, then you look at the polls right now. The latest poll that.
So, let me not get us canceled. It is a thing on this podcast to speak truth to power and call out things the way they are and not sugarcoat it and not BS about it, right? If any other ethnicity of politician would have said those words, New York would have dragged him down the street. Let's be clear. Because of his cultural background, he has been granted some leeway from some folks. I am not one of them people. Ever since he was indicted and a certain politician became president and he was given a mandate to make sure that immigration gets to move as they want to, he has been walking around here like his ish don't stink. First off, the people of New York didn't ask you to get indicted. When they elected you, they never thought that indictment was going to be one of the things that they had to worry about. And then, as a black man, to have another black man call you on your BS and you duck the smoke, I'm trying to see. I got a vow, right? I got this vow not to say that word. I got this vow, and so often I have to start over because people Make me say that word. I ain't gonna do it tonight. But y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. I'm not gonna do it tonight.
You talking about the N word?
Mm-hmm.
Ninja?
Mm-hmm. Because
well, this ninja is messing with the wrong ninjas because New Yorkers are probably some of the most upsettest people in the country about anything. Like I have never been to a place that seems so angry about absolutely nothing. So if he think that he has a mandate on being just because you're a part of a ethnic group, I don't think that's a mandate.
you are.
I don't know what's going on with this internet.
Okay, I thought it was me. Um,
It was.
I'll say this. I'll say this. I hope the governor steps in like she was talking about doing a couple months ago and remove this man. I am the Negro calling for your removal. You don't need to pray for me. I pray for me enough. And if you see my Twitter, my God is a comedian. And he liked me a whole lot. He liked me so much to tell jokes in some of my most trying times. And I'm going to do that. So if you feel like you want to say that to me, that's cool. But don't stand behind a podium at some campaign rally and pat yourself on the back and start calling people Negroes when you want to say the other word. Kindly go to those people that was calling for your removal and say it to their face. Everybody ain't gonna have the same response. I know a few people who ain't running for office that would love for you to say something crazy to them. You serve the people. You serve the people of New York. You do not serve anybody in Washington. I don't care what they got holding over your head. Because
drop them off in the worst part of the Bronx.
There is a difference between case dismissed and case dismissed with prejudice. I got your background, Doc. And case dismissed with prejudice. If they wasn't blackmailing you, they would have dismissed it with prejudice. That means they couldn't have came back. You would have even got a pardon. But since we're using old-timey terms, you are now their boy. And when they say jump, you're going to jump, boy. You are not a man. And it takes a lot for me to say that to another grown person. There are no morals and principles you are standing on. So all of this much to do about nothing in front of the cameras in New York, keep playing with God and he gonna show you he real. I ain't telling you something I heard about. I ain't telling you something I thought about. I ain't telling you something I read about. I did. I'm telling you something I know. Keep playing with God. You're gonna fuck around and find out. That being said, we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and then we'll come back. On the Texas Southern podcast, Texas Southern game, The announcer said that there were pro scouts in the arena to look at number 10. I was unaware of that until that moment. So that tells me, or I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that tells me that number 10 from your development has shown the skills to possibly go to the next level. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Well, I'll just say this. We've had 4 pro scouts come so far watch our guys. So, in different places already this year. And they all have been NBA level or at least the G League. And a lot of that is also for feedback. Maybe they're not on this level. Maybe they are this. Maybe they are second division in Germany, But, we have a younger staff. I'm 41, but everybody else has got 2 guys who are 38 and a guy who's 33. So, we've just been able to use our connections to try to help our guys, like I said before. Because really, if you really think about it, like you go look at it now with they had that new change in rule with getting a guy back, like we could have our whole team back. Now, that's not realistic because we're living in the transfer portal era. Like this is not realistic anymore, especially when you're not dealing with an NIL situation that is, going to be that high. So, we definitely make sure that our guys are seen. It's just part of the recruitment process with them. We told them we would do that. So we're, what else we do, we tell you to do what we said we were going to do in the recruiting process.
All right. Some FCS realignment news. UT Rio Grande, if I think that's right, UT Rio Grande Valley is going to the FCS this year. Richmond is going to debut in the Patriot League this season, and Delaware and Missouri State are going FBS. So they trying to make that step up.
Well, the reason why Richmond and Delaware are leaving, they left the CAA.
Yeah,
because they
North Carolina A&T.
For those who don't understand, they don't want to play with them naggers.
They don't just be segment dancing around. Oh, geez. No, the HOA is up in arms about A&T and Hampton being in that conference, and A&T and Hampton winning the track indoor championship is not going to make it any quieter in the CAA. So if I'm not
Hampton being somewhat competitive in football, it's gonna give some folks in the CAA some fits. That's the reason why Delaware was like, why we got to play them? Because they in your conference.
That's real. That is real. But shout out to those teams for trying to take it to the next level. This being Black History Month, ESPN did a 40 at 40 or 40 before 40 list. Lewis Hamilton, Formula One driver, did not take him being grouped in with those individuals well. He thought it was a slight. And I quote, "Don't ever compare me to anyone else. I am the first and only Black driver that's ever been in this sport. I'm built different. I've been through a lot. I've had my own journey. You compare me to another 40-year-old, past or present, Formula One driver in history because they are nothing like me. I'm hungry, driven, don't have a wife and kids. I'm focused on one thing, and that's winning. That's my number one priority." Hey, bro, hold on. Everything was going fine. Why you had to take shots at people with wife and kids? It's okay to have wife and kids. That keeps you grounded.
I think you're looking at that from a different way. What he meant was he don't have a responsibility at the house of a wife and kid. So his focus can be 100%. on his craft. Like he ain't got to go home and make sure the kids' homework's done. He ain't got to do none of that. He just go home and think about racing. He might go home and do donuts around the house. Shit, I ain't have no wife and kids, and that was my profession. I have a track in the backyard.
Yeah, you got to think about it like on the level of production, right? Because some people operate better with having, wife and kids because it keeps them grounded in everything mentally. But then there's people that feel like, the time outside of work can be still dedicated to perfecting craft, and that's something that would take away from that. I'm not using it as a negative, but like saying that it takes away, but realistically speaking, when you have a family, you have to tend to said family, which is naturally going to take away time that you could be doing something else. Again, for some people, that may work better for them. Some people, it may not. I need my wife and kids. After a long day and I come in and I see their faces, my battery might be all the way dead. I see them, my battery recharged. You know what I mean? So for everybody, it's not the same. It's subjective. But I don't think he should be, hammered for saying it because that's what works for him.
And again, like Hamilton to me is he's a godsend because when everyone he was doing Black Lives Matter shirts in Formula One. They were seeing this in Germany. Kids in Germany were having BLM shirts. So I have very little negative to say about him at all. I just thought that was interesting that he was like, no, I'm him. Like there's no reason to put me in the list. I'm him. Put me in this list over here. So,
we need to stop putting people in boxes all together.
Yeah.
Hello.
Because I don't listen, man. Listen, I keep trying to tell people like I'm a good Christian, and sometimes I get out of hand. The two things can be the same. They absolutely can be the same. And I got
the good Christian and getting out of hand. That's what you said. They can be the same.
Two things can be true, Marlo. Two things can be true.
A good Christian and getting out of hand.
You know what? This happens every. You know what?
I'm just asking because I know some Christian folks would be like,
not according to the Old Testament.
Yeah.
See, under the Old Testament, there was different laws. We are under the New Testament. We have a forgiving God.
Yeah.
The whole world seeing how you did me in the last Powerball with the $7. I need 231. I need 231. I'm gonna do good work with them 231. I promise you, I'm gonna do good work with them 231.
I'm pretty sure gambling is a sin, but I'm gonna let you have it.
I'm gonna say there's a lot that you should be praying to God about.
Powerball numbers ain't one of them.
It is not one of them.
In all things, there is God, and God in all things. And I need them 231 so I can go spread the goodwill. FAMU, Florida State. Yeah, I need to spread the good word. I need to build some scholarship funds. I need a library on Florida State campus. Like, I'm going to do some good work. Ash need to guarantee that he going to get in the fam. That 231 to do that.
So what you're saying is you're altruistic in your motives.
Exactly.
Damn. Yeah, okay. This year
Now
with my, you know what I'm saying? You gotta ask the right question. I believe that every question has an answer, but if you don't ask the right question, you won't get the right answer.
Right. Like I'm not gonna sit here and deny that. Like once I give, like this is all hypothetical, but if should I win a huge Powerball, I'm going to give FAMU's NIL a hefty sum, and I'm going to give FAMU's athletic department a hefty sum, and I'm going to give Florida State's NIL a hefty sum, and I'm going to be talking noise to them Ibis people in boot skin as I do my donation. Like, I'm going to do it live.
Well,
like, I'm going to
but that you know, in the whole theme of church, that would be considered tithing.
Yes.
In the Powerball, I'm going to donate at least 10%.
That's all I'm saying, God.
How we get off the time over here, man?
No, it is though. Look,
no.
Two things can be true.
There you go. There you go. You done went to the dark side because
it's wrong to pray
you think this is
gains, but is it also true that you can donate to good causes with said ill-gotten gains? Two things can be true.
Yeah, you can donate, but
you could be like Neville Shapiro. He donated with ill-gotten gains, and that's what. And look what happened to him.
One of these individuals
got to the penitentiary.
Who's talking about donating to these universities also said he want to a marching band in front of the head coach house, and Powerball gonna help him do it. So is that part of your donating?
Oh, the plot thickens. That sounds like an ulterior motive.
Well, I'll put it like this: if you have a UT in front of the name of your school, or if you have a University of Texas brought to you by University of Texas by at the end of your school name, you are going to get ill-gotten gains from that damn university on the 40 acres. Like UT spilled money into that program to RGV, and they bought another building out, and basically like, here, we want a football team that's gonna help our university system.
I mean, listen, in all things there's God, and in what
then it's the University of Texas. The University of Texas system.
I just want to feel what it feels like to like win and then donate, and that feeling of I've done good work and I get to step on them boot skins and Ibis while I do good work. Man, look at God. I'm gonna praise him beforehand because I know he's gonna do it for me.
That's all right. I feel you.
It be your own
I'm
people.
just saying. I just said I feel you. I hope you win. Cause y'all think I be turned up now. You win, we win.
For real.
You ain't got it's some things.
That's gonna be the first call. Marlo, guess what?
You win, it's gonna turn into some French real quick.
You're
gonna eat a lot of French.
Get your wife and the kids on the plane. Get your wife and the kids on the plane. We finna buy.
You're gonna hear weed so many times. You're gonna think you in Paris. I'm trying to tell you,
God. Man. Listen, and I make this joke all the time, but the reason I make these jokes because I want people in the mindset of if you do have donate to your causes, your schools, or whatever. Because we are now in economic times where there are forces actively trying to destroy the Black middle class. So if you have the ability to do it while you can. That's my moral to all of this, because especially now with me changing my diet and the money I used to spend on BS, I'm gonna have a lot more Johnny Black money to donate because I'm not eating Twizzlers and all this other stuff. So I just want everybody to get into that mindset that you can. Like it may seem like you can't do anything, but them $20, $30 3 times a month by the end of the year, that goes a long way for programs that don't have a lot of revenue.
Or you know what?
Also,
you donate to
shout
your
out to FAMU.
programs. Or you know what? You donate to your programs and mind your black ass business.
Need to.
That's how I see it, Troy.
That's it. Like let the people.
That's all you can do.
Let the people.
And
right, so
let me say this before you go on, Troy. We need to put some money behind Congressman Jasmine Crockett because that woman right there is speaking sense to everybody, not just black, not just the black middle class, but poor black people, but rich, but you know what I'm saying? You speaking to everybody, even poor whites and middle class whites, because guess what? You vote against your own interests. You get what's the thing about it, y'all? You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
You win stupid prizes.
And the best thing I heard what she said was the reporter asked her was, if you was right there with Elon Musk, what would you tell him? In 2 words. Fuck off.
I mean,
can't get no better. It can't get no better than that. So we got to protect that woman at all costs. Yeah. So she's over my district. So that just lets you know.
Well, she is doing God's work, and we're gonna continue to keep her in our prayers. If we got some nickels we can throw her way, we definitely gonna do that. Speaking of which, one of the Atlanta Falcons minority owners, Rashawn Wilson, is donating his entire salary to Morehouse College. Shout out to you, sir. Shout out to you for doing the people's work. Because if I had to do it, I would do it.
Standing ovation.
Yeah.
For real.
That's what's up.
You know what? The other thing, best interviewer at the HBCU Combine was Kendall Bowler out of Florida A&M. I don't know where he is as far as draft level. It looks like he's going to be a unrestricted, undrafted free agent. So let's hope he gets his shot at the NFL because there are guys in HBCU football who can play on the next level.
Absolutely.
So earlier today, somebody, I guess, posted Nia Long, and Nia Long wanted to make sure people knew who she was. Ma'am. I don't even know how to say this properly.
That's some bullshit.
We talking about Nia Long.
Yes, Nia Long. There are pockets of the internet that want to know if a new boyfriend can fight. That's what we want to know.
Wow.
Inquiring minds want to know. Not me. I'm speaking for people who can't speak. They just want to know if your boyfriend can fight. TP, we're not getting you in no trouble, so you're cool. Blink twice if you're safe.
Oh shit.
Hey yo.
So for everybody that don't understand, there are topics sometimes that can cause some strife in households.
Oh shit.
And there is a fine line that I dance on sometimes.
This guy.
And TP maintains a straight face every time.
That is hilarious.
Zoom in on that TP face right there. When you tiptoe that line.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Notice the kid comes in at that appropriate time.
Hey, I would say, I'm about to turn into Southern guy right out of 1860. Hey, you come around here with that foolishness, man. These are good black folks. They give me foods, they gives me sleeps. And I don't need you messing up my happy home.
Oh shit. That is hilarious.
Man, how about that video I sent y'all with old but the YouTuber, I guess the streamer, where he was talking to T Mac over at Rutgers. And he asked T Mac, what you doing at 24? T Mac told him I was scoring 30.
Shit.
And then gave him that side. He gave him that side eye. Walked off. That should be, be the meme right there.
Man. Oh man. Oh Jesus. Real quick. Master P is going to be he's going to be the president of basketball operations at New Orleans University of New Orleans. Also news from the University of New Orleans, they have suspended 3 players for gambling on sports, in particular prop bets on their play.
They better understand this could be federal. Quit playing with these people. Bet to quit playing with these people. They about to find
out. Now, in other news that Morgan State put out, I'm not exactly sure how. And somebody explained to me. Morgan State has opted into the House settlement, but instead of having to pay the $20 million over, I think, 10 years, they're going to pay $231,000 and some change. This will allow them to get to the 105. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of revenue sharing from Morgan State for players or for them to do NIL payments directly to players, but it needs to be said that whoever negotiated 231 from 20 million, shout out to you. Either that or they had the NCAA over a barrel by saying that you want us to pay $20 million, but none of our athletes got any of that money. Either way, shout out to Morgan State. It ain't often that on this show we give Morgan State superlatives. We're giving them one now.
You giving them one. I ain't giving them shit.
You know what, TP, we gotta ask.
They keep Morgan on giving. State, TP ain't giving. Marlo ain't giving nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Marlo, what did I need to understand? Like, I need to understand. This is like therapy. Like, what did Morgan State do to you?
They came up here talking about something. What they say they America's team, or what the hell they said it was?
Oh no, Banks said that's guys.
The national treasure.
Guys defense.
Okay. National treasure.
The national treasure.
Right there.
And the quarterback nickname was the truth, in which he lied.
Yeah, he did a lot of that.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this.
So you asked.
No, I'm not.
That's and then they were talking ish about my rattlers. So first of all, you ain't finna talk shit about not my team, and it's a kumbaya moment. Fuck you. And the horse you rode in on, and the people who put the damn horseshoes on.
How long ago was that, Marlo?
That shit could have been 10 years ago. Did any of them apologize?
Marlo, are you talking about the 5-way tie y'all had to win the MEAC that year?
It's fuck them until infinity. Fuck them. I ain't giving their ass props or nothing. Oh, they just cured cancer. Fuck them. They should have been dead it.
So
yeah.
Yeah, because why not just like Mississippi Valley State just hired the D2 national champion offensive coordinator as their offensive coordinator and offensive line coach.
Mhm.
This is a significant hire. I don't know whether or not it translates to win,
smart move.
but it's a hire. You got a winner in there.
That was a steal right there.
Anytime you bring that kind of brain in the room, it's an improvement.
And guess what though? Guess what? Him being the OC and the O-line coach in Valley, he's gonna go back up against Coach Jackson over at Prairie View again this season. And he had his number the last 2 years. As far as offensive wise go.
Well, Doc, TP, let's hang on to the podcast because what I'm about to say, I'm not sure how this is going to go. Bethune-Cookman University has elevated Dante Pimpleton to the roles of assistant head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach for the 2025 HBCU football season.
You forgot his other jobs. Water boy, uniform washer.
You do realize I got an email to the people.
He handed out snacks.
You do realize I done sent an email to the people.
He gave me the towels to the players.
Hot towels.
He making sure that they don't share helmets this season, this coming up season.
At least he's spraying it with Lysol. He got a lot of jobs. All them goddamn titles. Just say you just helping. You want to be. That's what's wrong with us. Everybody want to have a bunch of goddamn titles that don't mean nothing. Them titles ain't going to equate to not one
that's
damn
a tight
win.
budget.
It's
just lets you know that's a real tight budget.
He told them to give him all them damn titles so his mama could see he still got a good job.
TP, I'm gonna have to redo that Dave Chappelle episode with your boy, and yeah, I'm gonna have to redo that and make sure Bethune-Cookman get the end part that say it was Marlo, because it's Marlo every time.
It's me every time. Every
Marlo,
single solitary time.
This what you say. Welcome to the haters, the player haters ball. Hate.
Yeah, it was me. You could tell him it was me. The hell, you want me to call him? Let me send an email.
I would talk about that school down in Baton Rouge, but they going through a lot of things right now.
Yeah, they're going through a lot.
Yeah, they just found one of the students dead in a park from a hazing incident where he was trying to pledge Omega Psi Phi. Now it's going to be a moratorium. I think it's going to be a moratorium on at the school where they're going to stop everything and they're going to have these hazing classes as far as like, this is what you ain't supposed to be doing and stuff like that. And if you violate these policies, then you get kicked out the yard and all this other stuff like that. Now, and it's going to be legal because why this boy's parents about to sue the brakes out not only the university. They're gonna go after they're gonna try to go after the local chapter Omega Psi Phi from Southern University, and they're gonna go after the national office too.
It is 2025.
As they should.
And we are still having hazing deaths, and it's like it's been documented.
I thought that was over with when I was in school.
Documented what happens when it like the people have gone to jail, have gone to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any information as to what the actual hazing was?
Not yet. I got to read up on it.
Not yet. I'm sure there's going to be an investigation.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm a civilian in this, and I'm gonna speak as a parent, not necessarily as I'm not a member. I'm speaking as a parent. As a parent, as a black parent, we look at these D9s not as just social clubs. We look at them as a part of our fabric. They are both civil rights institutions. They are members of our communities. They are Miss Johnson at the church. They are every bit a part of us, our teachers, our doctors, our lawyers. We entrust them with our children. For this to happen, it's an unnecessary black eye because this didn't have to happen.
Well, I can speak to I could kind of speak to this because I am in a fraternal organization. I remember when I first, don't get me wrong, I remember when I first pledged in 06 and one of our rituals, not rituals, but one of our things that we had to do, we had to come up with a song and dance while being stuck in the woods in the middle in Nacka nowhere, aka Nacogdoches, at night where it's pitch black. And if you don't come up with it in a certain amount of time, then they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave you. You have to walk back to campus, and I wasn't gonna have that.
But that ain't threatening your life. Like, I don't know what kind of hazing they were doing.
No.
That this boy, that like, that's just crazy to me.
This we way past.
But we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Part of it is we do have to get more information as to what exactly the hazing was. You know, because I know we are quick to pass judgment, and as soon as we hear the word hazing, we automatically associate it with something that's, you know, completely out of left field. I gotta know exactly what the action of hazing was. Is this something that
I think if it was the fault of an organization and it's not something that they can point to say that it was self-inflicted or something like that, then it is, to me, and I'm speaking for me, not everybody on it, it is a systemic problem that they really haven't addressed in these organizations. Because like from the top down, they have meetings, like they go to conventions, like they talk about this in depth. Like something was missed somewhere, that somebody didn't get the message that it's not okay.
But
everything
that you do, even when you start out, you get your pledge manual, pledge book, however you want to call it. It is indicative inside that book. They will tell you, and it's in fine print. We are a non-hazing organization.
Right, but they do have an initiation sequence, and this is why I'm saying that we have to get more information as to what the actual hazing was, if it is still considered hazing. You know, what if the initiation was you got to run 3 miles and didn't know that this man had a heart murmur and he died? You know what I mean? That's something that we normally that's a normal thing.
Like I could tell you, I could be honest with you because I talked about this last time. I was talking about this before. I had a frat brother. My frat brother came from SFA. I brought him in in our fraternity in 2007, and he transferred down to Prairie View, and he was online to be a Sigma. They put him on a bread and water diet for him to lose weight, and then he died. They did a Indian run at 4 something in the morning where it was like 45 degrees outside, and his body went into total shock because it couldn't take it no more. And hold on one second.
So was that
now,
crazy?
but yeah, he passed away. They tried to leave him at his room. One of his line brothers, nope, we're gonna take him to the hospital. You know, from Prairie View to Houston is 50 miles to the nearest hospital. They they tried to leave him there. And then they tried to cover up and say it called his people, which his mom, like I know his mother. I know his father. Because father was an associate pastor at one of the bigger churches here in Dallas, and his mom was real big on like education and stuff. They went on a full blitz. Once they figured out what happened, they went on a full blitz of saying we suing everybody. Prairie View got sued. The local chapter, Phi Beta Sigma got sued. The national organization got sued. The people who were over the initiation process, they got sued. They went on a full blitz.
Did they win the cases?
They won a couple of them.
So so you knowing the whole story, do you believe that was hazing? Oh, we lost him.
I think we lost that.
So I'll ask y'all. Do y'all think that was hazing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't deprive because what?
Not just that. They made them do a run as part of the initiation. Like that. That's hazing.
I look at it from the standpoint was you have a choice. If this is what's required, is it against your will to still go do it? You have a choice.
You do have a choice, but at Florida State, okay, at Florida State, because of things that have happened in the past, they call it rush. During the rush process, there are people that they will hold responsible for the welfare of pledges.
That is their responsibility.
Right. Because of things that we've had happen. Even we've had some bad stuff, and then we've had some different stuff. We've had individuals going over to FAMU with the Confederate flag. They've made it very clear. Matter of fact, they just kicked one off of campus again this semester. This particular group just keep effing up. They don't care. Too much money. Anyway, so I don't know about every school, but there are at Florida State, they specifically hold individuals accountable for the rush's welfare.
And I'll break down where they went wrong. You have non-qualified people determining what somebody's health is, because forcing somebody or telling somebody that in order to be a part of our organization, you have to lose a substantial amount of weight, and the way to do it is with just bread and water. You're not a nutritionist. You're not a healthcare professional. You dictating what somebody intakes into their body is where you went wrong. This is why y'all should have got sued and why they won.
Now, you remember that, hey, TP, you remember that time where the kid from SMU, he pledged Alpha, he drank like five gallons of water and drowned himself?
I remember that.
Yeah.
And then you think about that. Think about the one case with the AKAs, where They was in California, and the line was tied to each other, and they was on the beach, and the tide came and got a couple of them.
Somebody has to pull out the season assist card. Somebody gotta have some type of understanding that this isn't safe.
Yeah.
This isn't something like we do this in the military called operational risk management, ORM. And there is a person whose job it is to ensure that we are doing things in the safest manner. Basic training is one of them because we had to go through extreme things during basic training. We had people pass out. But it was determined that what we were doing in the training path was deemed as safe for the vast majority. But you still have the outliers, people that have unknown health issues. So people with unknown health issues, if something happens to them, is it the people's responsibility if it has already been deemed safe? But when we have things that you don't know if tying each other to the beach is safe. There's nobody that came out, tested it, proved it, and said this is a safe thing to do. Operational risk management was not performed.
No.
Telling somebody what they can eat and only eat is not proper operational risk management. Because if we go on a basic training, if they would have said that, oh, this is all you can eat, and it hasn't been deemed as healthy, and somebody dies, guess what? Y'all are responsible. But they made sure that our meals were balanced because they knew that we were going to be doing grueling exercises.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that marching is a grueling activity, and you have to be well nourished to perform said actions. Forcing somebody to be malnourished is morally and physically wrong.
Man, again,
Very
prayers
sad.
out to his family.
Very sad situation.
We will follow.
Another thing I was saying, like when it came that, like when what happened with the man at FAMU was the first thing that the administration did when they found out that that kid died on that bus. Cease and desist.
Everything.
And then they started a whole investigation.
Oh, they shut it down.
Everything.
We call it a knock it off card.
They shut it down.
The 100 wasn't the same for 10 years.
Yeah. And the knock it off card applies to everybody. That isn't just the ones telling you what to do. Somebody has to pull out the knock it off card and say that this isn't safe. And if you think that it is, like the head person challenges it, I need you to prove that it is.
Yeah, heads got to roll because guess what? This kid's parents, when they figured the whole story out, they like I said, they went on a full blitz.
And for the viewers that don't know what an Indian run is, an Indian run is when you line up in a row of people and you start running, and the person from the back has to run to the front. This isn't just a normal jog, because at that point where you're moving to the front of the line, you are now exuding more energy than you would normally be doing on an ordinary jog.
And you got to keep, and the people in the back got to keep pace with you.
And you have to keep pace with the entire group. So if this person was already overweight, meaning they probably weren't in the best shape, and you're running with guys that may run for a living, you are already at a disadvantage, a physical disadvantage.
We will. Go ahead, T-Pain.
This person, you know what I mean?
We definitely gonna follow up with this story because this is something very important to us. A little bit brighter news. How about my Florida State Seminoles? How about them women taking down number 3 Notre Dame? We whoops trash around here. Whoops trash around here. Oh,
you said trash. Notre Dame
trash.
women are not trash.
Trash. I said it. I'm ready to tell lies. I'm
You
ready to
are
tell
telling a
lies.
lie right now because they are not trash.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell all the lies. Also, Lania Latson has now become the third ACC player to hit 2,000 career points. 26 a game, I think she had right now. 26 a game. And we had 3 young ladies score 30 points this season. I am ready to tell lies. Shout out to Coach Brooke Wyckoff, Seminole legend, leading these ladies down. Oh, man. It feels so good to have something to talk about when you're talking about Florida State basketball. It is such a joy right now.
I'm glad they're doing good because you would be on suicide watching this.
I mean, at least your men might have a chance to get into the tournament.
If the men get into the tournament, I'm going to talk noise, but I'm going to know somebody didn't get in that deserved to get in. I'm going to keep it 100. They've had some really good wins and they had some terrible losses. So we going to see if they win a game or two in the ACC tournament, that'll boost their ability to get in, but you know, that's something different. But these women, whatever defense shows up depends on whether or not they win the game. And they put the clamps on Notre Dame. Absolutely put the clamps on Notre Dame. And they roll out of the bed and got 4 girls and get 17. Like it's nuts. Again, shout out to Brooke. Hey, I know we're about to run over. So for everyone following the podcast, we will be attending, or most of us will be attending the SWAC basketball tournament, which will be the men and the women. Also, I'm gonna try and slip my way down to Tallahassee to watch nephew get married. So congratulations to J Rock. I won't be able to call him J Rock no more. He's gonna be a full grown man now. So shout out to them again, for everybody that follows the podcast, for all the people that liked and watched the TikTok video. Thank you. I don't have a lot to say, but I found out this week that I need to change my lifestyle, right? And I kind of made a big deal about having a black doctor on this podcast because medical racism is a thing. I found out that I had not had a A1C or a diabetes test since 2016. 2016. It is 2025. So I've discovered some things about my personal health that I need to make some lifestyle changes. Do not hesitate to go to the doctor for any and everything, because what I thought was a light little tingle was probably diabetes the whole little time. So I'm not going to make it long and drawn out, but say you love your loved ones because you don't know when you won't be able to say it again, and go to the doctor and take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Doc, what you got for us this week?
Probably tomorrow. I'm probably gonna go live early in the afternoon. I'm probably gonna talk more about that sort of thing. And
we'll come back to you, Doc. TP, what you got for us?
Doing a deal.
But we'll talk more about that. My bad. Y'all know I'm at work, bro. Shit. Folks getting in my face talking about they trying to find something. If it ain't there, it ain't there. God damn. Y'all made me crash out like Marlo. Shit. Find the shit yourself. But anyway, we're gonna talk more about the kid from Southern, man. I ain't gonna talk bad about Southern for right now. Gonna get into some NFL combine and stuff, and Gonna talk about how the Jackson women's basketball team, lose to Prairie View at home just today.
Yeah.
We talk about how all these this would impact seeding for the conference tournament on the women's side, and then on the men's side, we got games on Saturday. We play Texas Southern. It's a big one. Yeah, man. Other than that, make sure y'all go get your flu shot. Go and make sure you ain't around nobody that got measles, because there's been an outbreak here in Texas with measles, and of course with the flu. Make sure you get your allergy medicine and your sinus medicine. And one more thing, I said on Tuesday that my alma mater, Cedar Hill, was going to the state semis. We went to the state semis and we won, and basically we're going to the state finals this weekend.
That's what's up.
Yes, that's what's up. TP, man, what you got for us this week?
I just want to say that this weekend being the NFL Scouting Combine, don't be distracted by the players that have elected to not participate. I think it shows a level of cowardice, in my opinion, because this is supposed to be where, you're graded. You come down to Indianapolis and then you go through the Scouting Combine. You let them grade you. If your tape speaks for itself, then it will speak for itself. If you think that you've already solidified a position and the Scouting Combine is redundant, then you're losing the whole value of the experience. And for the kids that were invited, take this opportunity to show out, because if you weren't on a team's radar, this is the place to do it. This is a lot of players have made their mark in the Scouting Combine and have been drafted based on their performance. Some people that may have been looked at as a third or fourth round jumped up to the second or first. Take this opportunity for what it was. And, for the people that's going to be watching, enjoy the show, because you get to see some of these athletes, perform in a off the field environment. And a lot of that you'll get to see their skill set, what they may not be great at, what they are great at. I think too much emphasis is focused on the 40 time, especially for interior players, i.e. offensive and defensive linemen. I don't think the 40-yard dash really matters as much for them. I want to see them 20-yard splits. I want to see how many reps you can put up. Do you have the strength? Do you have the measurables and the intangibles when we get into the field drills? So going down the line, when we're looking at top DBs, I mean, we got to have some speed. You can't be out here running 4 seconds. But, 4.4 to 4.5 is still great speed if you know how to use it right. The best players in the league ain't the fastest, but they're the ones that are able to use their athletic ability to its max. So capitalize on this opportunity, go into it with an open mind. Fans, go into it with an open mind, enjoy the show. And I can't wait to see how the next generation of NFL talent performs this weekend, and ultimately what ends up happening come draft day.
Very good. Very well said.
Thank you, Marlo.
What you got for us this week, Marlo?
Well, it's short and sweet. I'm a girl dad. My baby girl, the youngest of the tribe, is playing flag football. She had 3 touchdowns the other day. This is her first stint at any organized football or anything like that. So she's athletic. She has a lot to learn, but she got some dog in her, and I am ecstatic through the moon to see her grow into this space. And I wanted to, before I actually put my hands in and started molding into what I think it should be. I wanted to see if she wanted to do it. One, if she wanted to put her effort out there, and she showed me that this is something she really wants to do. So now she going into the lab, and she won't be the same player next year. She'll do good this year because she is athletic, and I am excited to see what's next for her. She's a freshman, so she's going to them steps will get better. She'll grow into herself and become more physically astute. But the raw product right now is really impressive to see. So I want to shout out my daughter Maya for being a baller, and and that's about all I got. And if I hurt anybody's feelings with what I said on Tuesday, I I meant that shit. I
Why
really
did bring it up?
meant that shit.
Oh my God! You know what? Getting back to Maya. This Uncle Troy. Don't listen to Marlo. Don't be humble. Run by them kids and let them know that the reason you running by them kids is because their mama ain't buy them better shoes.
Oh my God, we're not doing that. We definitely not doing that.
Anyway, before we get out of here, I forgot to mention I may possibly be coaching Ash baseball team.
Oh boy.
What you boy? It's all good. As long as you don't throw at my kid head, we all good. Throw at my kid head, I am not responsible, and I'm not running out there till it's too late. I think that
you gotta have some level of being the adult in the room.
You're talking about me, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could go left. So we'll need that for these children.
These are just jokes, organizations. These are just jokes. Although I was trying to find the clip from a few years ago, they just jokes. They just jokes.
Nah, you said you was gonna fight some kids. You said you would fight a kid. Now you can't be coaching with that mentality, bro.
I won't have that mentality, but I want the players to have fun. I want them to be fundamentally sound and protect yourself at all times. And if protecting yourself means taking out their picture, protect yourself at all times.
Oh my God.
TP, did I say anything wrong?
Oh shit. You cannot agree with this foolishness.
Hey, I got something to say. The chick Steve Smith been messing with. Can we send her over to Ukraine to where she said if that was deep in knocking the IUD out, can it knock out some IEDs?
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining another edition of the Gathering the Whole Man podcast. Myself, TP, special guest Doc, and Marlo, we are out. Otherwise, we're going to get canceled.